Hello, elegant listeners, and welcome to Go, My Favorite Sports Team, the podcast that will keep you awake. Because if you don't, how does it go? I was going to promo your show at the beginning of the episode.
I know. It's going very well. Yep. Don't worry.
Reset.
Yeah, don't worry. It's fine, guys. You don't have to watch it.
Hello, everybody, and I'm doing your intro.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
Hello, elegant listeners, and welcome to Go, My Favorite Sports Team, the podcast that'll help you stay awake and watch Markiplier's new hit show on... Is it on Amazon?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime? Yeah.
Yeah, you
Man,
just
now
watched
we can say it. Oh, you're right. I'm tired today. I slept 4
tired
hours.
today.
You're tired too. I'm tired. It's because we have to stay awake.
Yes, look, it's been a week since release. If we're out of the top 10, I'm going to die.
Oh, it's a ticking time bomb.
So you better hope that it was in the top 10 this morning, because by the time you watch this, I'm already dead.
Go watch the show on Amazon Prime right now. I believe when I looked at it today, it was at number 6.
It's at number 5 today.
Oh,
Yeah,
it moved up. It moved up. That's good.
With
That's
the trailer and with Charlie making a video about it. So
Charlie made a video about it?
Penguin Zero, yes. He said it was pretty good. He said he meant to watch 2. He binge watched it all. And he had some pretty fair criticisms to make about it because it's definitely not a perfect show. I can attest to that.
I don't think any show could ever be perfect, right? There's always creative liberties that can be taken, different takes. It's like artwork.
I think there's one that could be declared perfect. Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power.
Oh, God. I thought you were about to bring up my hot take about the
movie. Oh, man. So many perfect movies.
So many perfect movies.
3, actually.
Iron Lung, soon to be 4.
You're right. You know what the first 3 are? Fellowship of the Ring, Two
No!
Powers,
No!
Return of the King.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, and then the Hobbit trilogy. So there's
No!
be 7.
Oh, God. For those of you that don't know, I have a hot take that I don't like the Lord of the Rings movies. And I have my reasons behind it. I think we've discussed this off content, but I have my reasons.
I'll put it this way. I have a new appreciation for changes being made because there's one that people have called out in Edge of Sleep, which, slight spoiler, it's not really a spoiler, it's a plot point early on. But there's a part where Dave runs a lot, right? So people often ask, like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Why didn't they just steal a car?
That's literally what I was thinking in that exact moment. Why was he fixing his car when there were clear cars on the road and dead people they could take the keys from?
I can tell you, on set, we asked this question. On set, wouldn't it make more sense this way? But the logistics of it are very difficult because that was already a change. Originally, it wasn't car breaks down. It was car crashes.
Oh.
Yes, because someone else fell asleep at the wheel or something and crashed into us. And basically, it was going to be way far out of where Katie's house was, and so the only option was to run while they tried to fix a car or something like that or get the other cars. The logistics of couldn't afford a car crash. Because that's hard to do. Yeah, it's actually hard. Even to fake it's hard to do, and it can come across really like, cut to broken car. Like, so. And then the other logistics is, in universe, stealing a car is fine. In film, that's another car you have to rent and pay someone off and then get insurance for. Film insurance is much more expensive. And then it's like, what do you not get the other car? Do you have we already rented that car for the entire film set. It's like you can't just not have that one and then shift to another one. You'd have to rent 2 cars for the entire duration of filming because you don't need to go back and shoot something else with the other car.
That's wild. You can't like rent up into a certain point of one car and then switch.
They already did. So they already did before they decided to change the script from the original idea. And so, it's one after another. These chains of events cause you to make differences in what the script is because practically just filming is different. So you can imagine in Lord of the Rings when they were filming it, there's tons of things that you're like, oh man, it would be great. But it's also like anything like Tom Bombadil having him in there in a different way it goes is like all of it changed because scheduling, especially for that many cast members, is fucking nightmarish.
Right.
Getting even the 4 of us in the same place at the same time was sometimes difficult.
Even getting just me and you in this room to record this podcast.
It can be difficult. It can be very difficult. Yeah. So I appreciate it. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about it.
Yeah, and I think that all comes down to there's a little bit of distinction, I think, for Lord of the Rings because those books have been around for so long before the movies were made. Still can run into those issues when you convert a written work into a script, which, by the way, you do need writers to take a finished product, even if it's Lord of the Rings or any book, and convert it into a script. That is work. There is stuff that needs to be done in order for that to work so that you can actually make the movie.
Yeah, not many people know, but a script isn't just another way to tell a story. It's actually a recipe for the production staff to execute the idea. It has specific guidance, scene breakdowns, locations are specified, characters are specified. All of it gets turned into a big spreadsheet. And the language can be flowery and descriptive, but it should be specifically descriptive to be like, this is exactly what happens in this moment in this way. And then this character says this while this is happening. And then you change to this scene. It's basically like the first edit, which will change again. It changes again and again.
It's basically a written version of how everything happens in that moment.
Yeah. If you were to read that and then look at the show, well, I mean, if you did that with a show, it would look very different because even after the script you go there. But when they shoot it, they're like, look at that and be like, all right, let's frame up that. This dude walks in from left, boom. Yeah, walk in from the left. You idiot.
You missed your cue.
Oh, that was the right.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about production. We're here to talk about sports.
Yes.
Although, production is really fun and really cool, and I enjoy it a lot.
The scripts they write for the games and who wins them, that's a whole other story.
Yeah. Now that gambling's massively involved.
Yep. And Taylor Swift's boo will win the Super Bowl.
Speaking of, I traded for him. So now my team is now the Swifty Fantasy. That's the name of my team for fantasy football.
Wow. Are you still winning?
Yeah, I just destroyed Noah.
You destroyed the guy who's like an expert at fantasy?
I lost to him, but I destroyed Noah, my lawyer friend on socials this week.
I see.
So you love that. You really love that.
That's great. I hope we can sell this soon.
I hope so too. There's a lot to be sorted out on that. But today I didn't grab any sport news. There was a really heartwarming moment in hockey. I don't know if you know about this, but two hockey players who were brothers in Ohio. The older brother is in the NHL playing for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They got hit by a drunk driver and died when they were out. I think it was either a bike ride or a run. And there was an honoring of them at the Columbus Blue Jackets game where they basically like left a man down at the beginning of the start of the game. So like a missing man formation like they do in the military. And so they just kind of honored that. And it was just a very heartwarming moment where sports fans come together to recognize loss.
It started off heartbreaking. You said heartwarming from the get-go, and I was prepared. I was like, yay. Oh, no.
Misspoke. It was heartbreak and then heartwarming in how hockey has revolved around honoring these people who died in a terrible accident. That's the only news I wanted to share.
Wait, no. What? What's Caitlin Clark up to?
Oh, right. Well, she's out of the playoffs, so the WNBA finals are happening right now, so there's not really any news on Caitlin Clark. Her team lost.
What if she kills another team's person and wears a mustache in place?
Wait, there is news. She apparently revives a nickname after her appearance with an NBA star. She's enjoying her off season, and apparently she connected with all-star point guard Tyrese Halliburton at a Golden Gala event. So she's getting in the gym and doing off season. I'm trying to find out what this nickname is.
Yeah, what's the nickname? You'd think it'd be in the headline.
Indies point guards. Is that the nickname?
Indies nuts.
Point guard and point goddess. So she's a point goddess. So point guard.
The other guy's just a guard?
He's a point god. Point god.
Oh, okay.
Instead of point guard. But he plays for the Indiana Pacers and she plays for the Indiana Fever. They both went to a gala event. And somebody commented KISSING. I don't know if that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went to a gala and they took a picture together and it was posted by the Pacers and the Fever. Yes, I still have that.
Is this from something? I don't think I've ever seen this.
Catherine got me that for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
Our first year working together back in 2016.
That's great. Memories. That was 8 years ago.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So that's the Caitlin Clark news. She went to a gala event.
Went to a gala. That's the news. And she also flew a blimp into the Empire State Building. It was nuts.
I don't think that happened.
Prove it would.
I don't think that happened. Anyway, today we're here to talk about a massive controversy and a sport that is plagued by controversy all of a sudden. It's called Conkers.
Yes.
Have you heard of Conkers?
I have, yes.
What is Conkers then?
I don't know why I didn't remember this because, okay, to preface it today, when we were figuring out when I was going to come over here, Tyler just tells me, hey, can you buy some chestnuts? Can't find any. Can you go to your local Asian market and buy some chestnuts? I'm very confused. And so I go, of course I do, and I drive up to the local Korean grocery store. But right as I pull in, I get there at 6:59 and they're closing the gate. It's gone. And then I see the open sign. It was on in that picture that I sent you. And then it like turned off right after that. I was like, man, come on. I didn't know if I should go up and give me your chestnuts. But I didn't even know why.
Like a crazy person just banging down the door. I need chestnuts.
So I didn't get any, so I don't have any chestnuts. But I do know, I know about Conkers because I on Distractable, I was looking up news and I didn't share it for the reason of the story. I didn't actually read it. I just showed it because of a funny picture of the guy and
the King Conker.
Yeah, something like that.
We got a video for that.
A potential cheating scandal has rocked the World Conker Championships
that's King Conker.
after the men's winner was found
Conker.
with a steel dummy in his pocket. 82-year-old David Jenkins, or King Conker, won the title on his 46th attempt in
This was his
Northamptonshire
46th
on Sunday.
attempt, but he
He's
was
also
already
the
called King
tournament's
Conker.
top judge, by the
but
way.
he's
So
never
he
won.
drills and threads other people's chestnuts. But
He's
when
also the
David was
top judge.
searched, he was found to have an identical painted steel conker threaded onto a lace in his pocket. He's insisting he only carried it for humour value, but the championships have confirmed they are investigating.
So evidently, that's the part I didn't hear. I didn't know he judged too. And with that fact, so the way Conkers works is you don't bring your own chestnut.
Oh.
They actually have them strung and on a table and you pick it before the start.
Okay.
You get a random chestnut. But if he has an identical one, supposedly, like they said, it sounds like he clearly pre-picked and pre-copied.
Yeah, you don't show up to a competition with a steel chestnut
As a gag.
as a hilarious ruse. Although he did have a bunch of chestnuts strapped to his chest. So maybe it was his bit. But also, who has a steel chestnut that's painted? The painted thing
Yeah.
is like, okay, there's no other purpose for this than to fool someone.
So it gets deeper, all right? And I have the second video for that exact purpose.
David had beaten his opponent in the semi-final and final with one strike,
So one
which
strike is
is almost
unheard
unheard of in the game. But an investigation has found no evidence that the steel conker was actually used. King Conker
How would you
said,
find
I'm
evidence,
so
right?
relieved to be cleared.
Yeah.
It's been a stressful week. I've been playing and practicing
Would
for
they-
decades. That's how I won.
The chestnut, he could have just swapped it for the other one. With one strike. Has anyone ever done that? That's the question. Okay,
yes.
so someone's done that.
A single strike has occurred because over time you're using the same chestnut, I'm pretty sure. And so eventually it's going to wear down. But 2 in a row with a single strike seems insane.
Yeah, that's tricky. But has it never happened? 2 in a row?
I don't know. I didn't deep dive enough to research that.
I see.
But I found another one and I was watching it. I don't have it here because it was like it jumped from a bunch of different things. Yeah. And they were talking about his name's King Conker, right? But this is his first time ever winning.
46 times a lot to not win.
Was it 46 or was it?
It is his 46th attempt.
46th attempt, yeah. He's been at it for a while, and having the name King Conker, you'd think you'd need to live up to that expectation. I feel like there's no other reason for him to have it, and based on the investigation and his involvement in the entire event, seems very questionable.
Is there official, like a broadcast of this event? Did anyone?
I don't know if there's an official broadcast. I don't know if they record it that frequently.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that other video I had, because it showed like the judge.
I want to see this guy in action in the event. I want to see if we can notice a difference. Because if you see from the prior to the semifinals, he might not have had it and been like, oh shit, this is my year. I got to bust out the old special. And then, he might have then popped out the steel nut.
Went wild with it.
So I think we can get to the bottom of this. I think we can analyze the footage and reach a conclusion. And then we can expel this fraud from the world of Conker forever.
So this is the guy who's supposedly investigating it seriously.
So we're investigating this seriously. We're gathering all evidence, and we've got a good selection of evidence It sort of indicates innocence at the moment, but we just want to make sure.
Before they even started the investigation, they claimed innocence. He's like, it seems like innocence at this point, but we got to investigate. So they're already that's already kind of publicly showing bias.
This smells real terrible. Also, is my hair just full Farquaad right now? I can't see myself fully in the video, but I keep catching because there's a wire in front of it.
Yes, it is a full Farquaad.
Am I full on Farquaad at the moment?
Farquaad.
And I've been trying to fix it, and I think it's just been getting more Farquaad. Why is it perfectly curled right at the bottom of it? Stop.
I like how you're yelling at your hair at the camera.
Stop.
You're doing this.
I keep trying to fix it. It's not fixing it. How do I fix it? Stop. Don't Farquaad. It does that sometimes. My hair doesn't do it most of the time, but then sometimes it's just like, blam, you're that meme. I don't know why. That didn't help. Look at this hat. Look at this goddamn hat.
It's not gonna happen. Do you want a hair tie?
No. Just tuck it back. I'll tuck it back. There we go. No, that's fine.
So the man who lost in the final is Alistair Johnson Ferguson, and said that he did suspect foul play. He reportedly said, "My Conker disintegrated in one hit, and that just doesn't happen."
Sport is a strange place, and things can happen that we didn't foresee.
This stinks. This reeks.
Reeks of cheating.
Reeks of cheating, and also, could it be that everyone in the competition judge circuit was like, come on, we got to let him win. He might not be around next year.
Maybe they know some health ailment that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
And he's been around helping, and apparently he's been a sensation virally a few times for Conkers for them. So
I can get behind that to some extent, because it seems like a not very silly competition in general. But why didn't they just say it? Why hide it? Then he's going to die disgraced if he's dying.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is also coming out and saying they cleared him, saying there was no evidence, which makes me think that there's no filming. But
I think this goes deeper.
I think it's deeper.
I think it's not that it's a steel nut. I think the steel nut was to protect him from the sniper that he hired to fire a bullet right as he was hitting the other one. And he was just in case he got hit in the chest, and then he could have the steel nut deflected off of his body.
Really, he was surrounded with steel nuts, and they only found the one.
Oh, they were all steel.
They were all steel.
Oh, no one even suspected he was covered head to toe in steel nuts to protect himself from the snipers. Multiple snipers.
Because, you got to have your redundancies. If the first one misses, you got the second one, you got the third one.
And then the third one takes out the second one.
Yeah.
And the second one takes out the first one.
And the first one takes out the third one.
Oh,
and so it's a big triangle, and they just shoot at the same time, and they just collapse.
Yes, exactly. It's a perfect crime. It's a perfect crime.
Because then they can't even see that they're shooting at each other.
Exactly.
That they're shooting at other people.
Exactly.
That's some insane marksmanship.
Well,
to hit
he
a
is
nut.
the king.
Well, he's not the one shooting.
Yeah, but he set it up. The king doesn't do the killing.
Right, but you have to know the people that can hit that shot.
Yeah, the king does. Probably got us pegged right now. We're doomed.
Good thing the blinds are shut. They can't see us.
It's me.
Oh, no! You should have done the mask removal.
No, I didn't want to take my hat off. Farquaad.
All of a sudden, your puppet comes out from the closet with an Uzi.
All right.
But anyway, because of this cheating scandal, I figure it's fair for us to go ahead and introduce people to the world that is the sport of Conkers.
So it was officially cleared?
Officially cleared. That's what they said. The news broke and said he is officially cleared of cheating.
Well,
therefore,
no one's even want
to
do Conker if after hearing this.
Well, that's why we're going to create our own organizing body of Conkers 2.0 with our audience here. We're going to be the ultimate nut smashers.
UNS.
There you go.
We love the UNS. UNS. Smash my nuts.
Well, it's gonna be an overall governing body for Conkers 2.0 and Nutball, two perfectly correlated nut crushing sports.
That's fair. Very fair, actually. Can't believe Rhett and Link tried to call it Ball. What a stupid
Well, yeah, that's such a stupid name. Also, somebody tried to claim ball. They got ahead of us on talking about like some sport topic that we talked about way back when.
Dumbass.
I don't remember what it was, but I was like, yo, we mentioned that like 3 different times before they talked about it. And it was about the competitive cooking being a sport or not. And we talked about that very long time ago.
Yeah, we did.
Not in depth, just like minorly mentioned.
Yeah, idiot, stupid. How did you miss minute 43 of that episode? Dumbass.
Yeah. So Conkers, Mark. It's about smashing nuts. Tell me what you know about Conkers, how it works.
Well, okay, we've covered it a little bit. So 2 players, nut on string.
Yep.
You don't make your own nut. You're provided a nut. Wham, bam, bam. Probably take turns.
Yes.
Standing 83 centimeters apart with your feet spread 17 and a half foot lengths.
10 times the girth of your own nut.
String must be exactly 23 millimeters in width at the tip.
So the basic idea is you drill a hole into a horse chestnut, which for those of you in Ohio or from Ohio, that's a buckeye.
And apparently they're toxic, you
They're
said?
toxic, yes. They're
Well,
the
you eat
toxic
'em.
chestnut.
But don't you eat them?
There are chestnuts you eat, and then there's the horse chestnut, and the horse chestnut is toxic.
I saw it was the Ohio thing that we eat this.
We don't eat that. That's why the Ohio State Buckeyes are a buckeye, because they're secretly poisonous.
So what's that smile?
But you take turns smacking your opponent's nut with your nut. It's a nut on nut action. You got a string. And you've picked your nut. It's a pristine nut, perfectly round, looks to be hard. You inspected the drill hole because they have to drill a hole through it to tie the string on there. And you're like, that's clean. It's perfectly circular. Looks like no flaws. They stayed in the sweet spot right down the center, so you don't have a weaker point in one direction. And you line up and you're facing an opponent. And you gotta dangle your nut in front of them. It's like, yeah, look at my nuts. Look at how saggy it is. You can't hit this. And then they swing their nut to hit your nut. Nut smash right on top. Your nut just swings back like a pendulum. Now it's their turn. They dangle their saggy nut, and you swing your nut, and it smashes through in one hit.
I now know why Tyler wanted to make this episode this. It turns out it becomes funny after like the 15th nut-related pun and/or joke. That's when it becomes funny.
To me.
Yeah. To me too, but you know. Go on.
All right. So each year on the second Sunday of October in the county
Each
of
nut on the second nut of nut number.
No.
Nut.
In the county of Northamptonshire.
North Nuttonshire.
Hampnutshire.
Ham nuts. Yep.
The World Conkers Championships take place. In 2024, there were 256 competitors and over 2,000 spectators, though in past years, up to 5,000 people came to watch 400 people compete. The competitors and spectators come from many countries: Australia, Austria, Canada, France, Japan, Mexico, New Zealand, Poland, Russia, South Africa, Sri Lanka,
What?
Ukraine, and the US.
That's so many places for only 500 to show up.
They travel across the land.
They didn't even have Buckeyes in all those places.
They're pretty widespread. Horse chestnuts are pretty widespread.
Yeah, but that was a lot of places. In Australia, South Africa, and US
I don't
and
think
Canada.
Australia has it, but they probably practice with other nuts.
Right, sure.
They are Australians. They're used to being the down under after all.
I don't get it. Explain. Go on.
Everything's trying to kill them, so they got extra girthy nuts.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
You heard it from Tyler. Australians have big balls. That's what he thinks anyway. Don't prove him wrong.
But there's men's and ladies events for this.
Is there? Yeah. Sorry. Totally different. I don't even want to pursue this train of thought, but here we go. You know how there's breast enhancement, right?
Yes, there are false testicles for if you have one chopped off because of cancer.
Oh, wow. That's not my question.
We're halfway through this episode. We barely even started talking Conkers.
Anyway, sorry.
No, continue. I want to know what your train of thought was.
I meant, like, if it wasn't about getting it chopped off beforehand, I was just wondering if there's, like, ball enhancement surgeries that people have. There's, like, some silicone implant that you just, like, shove around the ball. That would cause heating issues, wouldn't that? That would probably be bad.
Just so you know, I'm Googling this right now.
It's in his history forever. If he drops dead right now, it's going to be real questionable.
I really don't care. There are implants.
That can't be healthy.
Yes, testicular enhancement surgery is
Hold
available.
up on the big screen. I want the editors to see this.
This is from UCLA.
Oh, wow. After the testes have been surgically removed. Okay.
But there's enhancement. Here we go.
Avert your eyes, editors.
Whether you seek testicular enhancement due to the absence of a testicle or the desire to enlarge existing testicles, Dr. Gallagher has years of experience in providing effective solutions.
Why does it make sense that his name is Gallagher?
I don't know. All right, so there's an incision that's describing it. Small incision made.
This is about sports, everyone. Trust us.
Carefully placed to minimize scarring, and then they put a silicone implant.
That can't. How does that work? It would, because the temperature of a testicle needs to be very closely maintained, so that would affect it, wouldn't it?
I mean, what if you don't care about having kids? Maybe they don't care. That's the only thing that matters in that relation. So
yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, why are you getting them enhanced if you're not to attract a mate?
Yeah, the bigger balls.
Hey, look at this.
Look at my elephantitis.
When you got your ball cleavage on display, you know.
They get ball bras.
I think that's a joke somewhere. I think that some show probably made fun of that.
I'm not hitting the gallery.
Oh, come on. No, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So we're moving on. So yes, that is a thing. There's men's and ladies events with an individual and team champion chosen for each.
Team?
Yeah. Unlike many sports, there's then an overall champion where men's and ladies compete to be the overall.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, sure. Okay.
So they start by narrowing down on their own side and then face each other. Probably.
Is it like pretty even men, women winning the final one?
I don't know. We'll get into that later.
So when you dangle it, do you have to hold it as still as possible? Or
you have to hold it firmly and then you hold it still, yeah.
Oh, can you like try to defend?
You cannot try and dodge. You have to take it.
Can you try to like take it in a way that maybe would alleviate some pressure on it? Like you're not going away from it, but you go like into it a little bit if you think you can deflect it, or do you have to just hold it?
I think you just have to hold it. It's also hard to hit because they have to swing from the string. They're not like punching it with the nut in their hand. This year's championship, what took place a little less than 2 weeks ago, was historic for a couple of reasons. One, when Kelsey Bansabach from Indianapolis became the first American Conkers champion when she won the overall champion for 2024. So she is the first woman to win the overall. So that just answered our question.
Oh, so not very even, but first woman did win. I don't know why I was reminded of this. I mean, it's testicles.
Or no, first American, but she won. Maybe not the first woman.
Have you ever read Baki? It's a manga.
No.
There's a lot of people that it's like fairly famous because there's it's about like fighters, right? So it gets weird, and that's an understatement of the whole manga, right? It starts just like a fighting a tournament. I'm gonna win. I'm training really hard. Oh god, this guy's unbeatable. Yada yada. Then it gets extremely homoerotic, like extremely, which is fine, but the story just gets more and more nonsensical. And I remember I was on a plane reading it, and I was reading it, and I was just going, where is this going with this? There's some really funny moments in there, and there's some really interesting moments, and then there's mostly just a bunch of weird. And there was a whole chapter while I was on the plane that I came across that was dedicated to talking about how wonderful testicles are. And it had like a big full drawing of a sack, and I'm just on the plane. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Everyone's loading on, and I'm just like, what the fuck? It just goes on and on. I keep tapping forward to go forward away, and it's like, it's still talking about nuts. There's another picture. There's another picture.
So we're reliving this moment right now on this podcast because everything is about nuts.
Every single thing about nuts in my entire life is just coming to the fore. But it was just like so funny because there's a meme about that manga. It's just like, what is Baki even about? And I really, truly understood that meme because it doesn't make fucking sense. Why is this here?
Yeah.
And then there's a great fight with like incredible choreography. And then there's literally a moment where one fighter is like, I'm going to show you how strong my teeth are compared to yours. And the other one's like, because he's a caveman that got frozen in ice and is apparently in the future now. And then they both lock teeth, which is just them like full on, like just the most intense kiss you've ever seen. And then the other one grabs him by his teeth and flips him over his head, rips his face off. It's fucking weird. Look, Baki is a trip. It is so funny and so weird.
So it doesn't look like teams came out until 1992. Women joined the event in 1988. It's not listing the overall winner on here, so I don't know how many women have won the overall. She was the first American to win. I don't think she was the first female.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see.
But I'm seeing a team called Mutts Nuts win and Wood Bees as winners
How
for
many
the
on
team.
a team?
Good question. We'll have to continue down the Conkers.
Oh, you've got it in your research notes.
Oh, yeah. This is a primer.
Oh, I mean, I knew that, but also, whoa.
So the men's champion of historic for different reasons, as we talked about earlier, it's David Jenkins. Such a victory would be heartwarming, except for the fact that he seemingly cheated and smells really funny.
Wait, King Conker cheated and smells funny?
The whole situation smells funny.
Oh, he doesn't smell funny?
He might smell funny.
Because the way you said that made it seem like he smells.
You know, I've never smelled him, so I cannot say that I know how he smells. But with that many steel nuts around his neck, he probably smells funny.
Probably.
But the whole situation smells funny, even though he was cleared of cheating officially.
It does.
David says that he just had it as a humorous prop, like you said.
Hilarious.
So funny.
Look at this. Looks like a chestnut. It's not.
Hey, look, I've got a prosthetic chestnut. Ah!
Why do you have that? It's so funny.
It's just in my back pocket during the competition.
Look.
So there's never been a cheating scandal in the history of Conkers. This is the first time. The Daily Telegraph says this whole thing is nuts, it stinks, and needs to be properly investigated to save our game from scandal.
It does seem like what a way to spit on 46 years of King Conker being a part of this community. And he's like, I gotta win one, and cheats. That stinks.
It stinks. But hey, when you're a king, you'll do anything to stay in power. History taught me that.
I have no joke to make. What are you
That's
looking at me
fair,
for? I
yeah.
don't have a joke about.
All right, Act 1.
King's nuts, am I right?
We're in Act 1 and we're 40 minutes in the episode. Are we going to finish this?
Oh, I don't know. That's not my problem. When it hits an hour, I'm gone. You keep talking.
The game of Conkers is named after the term used for horse chestnuts in the UK. It started off as a children's game in the early 1800s, and it was played with horse chestnuts strung onto shoestrings. Remained popular until World War I, when nuts became part of a top secret project to help with the war effort. Poisoning.
Oh, I was about to say, pause, explain.
It was literally the next thing written in the notes is, so Mark, how does an inedible nut help fight a war?
Ah, so we didn't have time to go into the full spiel you had prepared.
I mean, World War I, lots of poisonous gases.
There were a lot of that.
So I wonder if they were trying to create a new one using nuts. The answer, though, is explosives.
Oh.
German U-boats were making it hard to get supplies of corn, which was used to make acetone for explosives, shipped over from the US. The British forces needed an alternative source to make the chemical, and while potatoes were an option, they were needed for food. So someone had the bright idea to use Conkers instead to create acetone.
Then why did you whisper poisoning?
I didn't see this until just now.
Oh. Oh, so I could have answered that. All right.
Yeah, you could have.
I guess I'll just be here.
Ah, no, that's mine.
All right.
To get the amount of Conkers they needed, the British military offered to pay school children for gathering the nuts. The children got 7 shillings and 6 pence, which was around $1.68 at the time, for every 50 kilograms.
Oh, what the? I was about 50 nuts. That's not bad. And I was like, oh, 50 kilograms?
It would be equivalent to $52.45 today in US dollars.
Okay, maybe that's not so bad. All right.
110 pounds, though. Nuts. That was not intended. It seemed like a great idea at first, but because of how top secret the project was, it became a logistical nightmare when you involved school children in gathering nuts. Trying to safely and secretly transport nuts to factories resulted in giant piles of rotting nuts stinking up train stations, and a bunch of civilians wondering, why is there a giant stack of wilting nuts?
Yeah, okay. I didn't think that they would spoil that quickly. I thought they kind of just stay forever.
Perishables, man. They're organic. After the war, Conkers went back to being used as a game until World War II. Then the British government decided to do the same top secret plan that totally worked the first time.
Right.
And I never guess how it turned out.
Why didn't they just make acetone with it in between the... Why has it got to be secret anyway? It's their country. I mean, I guess, yeah, the British did get bombed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. We're going to bomb their trees.
But anyway, Conkers then continued to play by school children, and then the first World Conkers Championship took place in 1965 and has taken place in every year since, except for COVID. Time to play Conkers. We're in Act 2. What do you need?
A chestnut.
And
a string.
my man for the World Conkers Championships. Up to 2,000 Conkers are made for this event, each one checked by officials for the competition. 2 parts, like you said, a string. Traditionally, shoelaces are used, but now a leather cord is currently used for the championship Conkers. Lace needs to be long enough to be at least 20 centimeters or 8 inches of lace between the knuckles of the striking competitor and their Conker.
Okay.
The Conker nut has to be 30 millimeters wide and a hole wide enough to fit the string through vertically through the nut. Conkers, of course, native to Ohio, are the Buckeyes, like I said.
Yes.
New Conkers must be gathered each year, which has caused shortages, including 1 year where Conkers had to be shipped in from New Jersey to save the event.
There's only 2,000 needed. Why do they?
2,000 qualifying ones.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're very particular.
Why don't they just breed a tree that can give? Well, I guess it takes forever to get a tree to grow. So, I guess.
And Buckeyes are also notorious for taking a long time to grow. They're a slow grower.
Okay, fine. You win, Mother Nature.
Official rules. All Conkers are laced and supplied by the championships. May not be knotted further or tampered with at all, and are drawn blind. You don't get to look at them when you pick.
Oh, interesting.
They're a blind draw.
Okay.
But you may reject up to 3 selected Conkers.
But you don't get to see what next one, so you might get an even worse one.
Yeah. It could be rotten. You reach in and it's just pure acetone.
That's someone's actual nuts.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to put those in there. That was the wrong bag.
Why do you have a bag? Why do you have a bag?
Hey, they had it in Game of Thrones. The one guy carried around his thing in a little satchel.
It wasn't. It was a satchel made out of his ball sack. Wasn't it?
No, it was in a little baggie.
I thought that the leather bag was made out of his scrotum.
No.
Oh, that makes sense.
His balls were just in the leather baggie.
Well, that's they did twice the work. They could have just kept.
They could have just kept him in the normal one.
Obviously.
I don't think human skin works that well in that leather capacity, but I haven't tested it and don't want to.
It's kind of a gross thing to do. Thinking about it, like I've got my nuts in this. Why would you carry it?
You're carrying it every time you walk naturally when it's there, but was this reminder? I don't remember.
This seems weird. I guess I haven't had my nuts chopped off, but
Yeah, you grow attached to them.
No, you don't.
They're attached to you.
Not anymore.
No.
All right, whatever.
The game will commence with a coin toss, and the winner toss may elect to strike or receive first. Are you a striker or a receiver?
What's the advantages?
Well, you strike first, you swing and hit first.
I know what that means.
So that means you have the initial. I mean, it really doesn't matter because they're both absorbing the impact either way. But the thing is, the weaker part of the nut, I think, is at the top, which is why striking it usually causes the other one to break. So I think striking first has an advantage because you get a strike in before they can.
All right, then I'd pick strike first. But if you miss, I'm guessing that's if you whiff it.
Yeah, it's still a swing. So you just miss.
Are you able to go twirl, twirl, spin, spin, wham, like to get momentum up, or do you have to stand still?
It looks like you have to, they hold it outstretched and they go whoosh.
Okay, so just one
motion. You can't be like
round here, nunchuck style. Because that would be devastating.
That's exactly how King Conker switched out the nuts. He was flipping them around and reached in his pocket, switched it out, put the other one back. Bam!
Honestly, if he could do it, that's amazing.
Sleight of hand.
I mean, there are some magicians out there that just like they move so quickly and so precisely that it's like if they can fool someone, why not?
Steel nut versus regular nut. Each player takes 3 alternate strikes at the opponent's Conker, taking turns. Each attempted strike must be clearly aimed at the nut with reasonable force. You can't swing them at your opponent.
Okay.
Or their nuts. It has to be the particular nut on the string. The game will be decided once one of the Conkers is smashed.
Okay.
You just go until it breaks. A small piece of nut or skin, a third or less, remaining shell shall be judged out. It must be enough to mount an attack.
Skin?
The skin of the nut inside.
Inside skin?
Yeah, so the nut has a shell, and then there's a skin, and then there's the actual seed.
I gotta look at a Buckeye. Hold on. Let me see.
The game will be decided once one of the Conkers is smashed. A small piece of nut or skin, a third or less remaining, shall be judged out. So basically, if it's still hanging on, but only a third of it remains, it's...
Don't these last forever?
No.
Don't you like collect in Ohio? I swear that like they were decorative. They last forever.
If you cook them, maybe. People put them on strings and stuff, but they eventually rot.
Didn't know that.
If both nuts smash at the same time, the new Conkers will be drawn. If it's a draw of nut smash,
Yeah.
Just nut catastrophe. You get new nuts.
Is that like if you swing too hard, wouldn't it be more likely that both would break?
Possibly, yeah.
So you got to like precisely gauge how much, which is why it's so weird that knocking out both of them in one hit would be very strange.
Especially if yours came in unscathed.
Yeah, if you have the same Conker.
You know, I'm curious if they were able to look at the damage of his nut.
That's why I wanted to see the video.
Yeah, but there isn't a video.
I bet there is, because if it's an event that takes place anytime in modern eras, someone's got their phone out.
All right, you want to search that while I continue talking?
You guys search that. I'm lazy.
Yeah, you search it. Find us the video.
Let's find this out, but I'm not going to work very hard for it.
Any nut being knocked from the lace, but not smashing, may be re-threaded. So if the thread just goes, you just get a new thread.
Makes sense.
And the game continued. Or the player may choose to draw a new Conker, which might be an advantage because you're like, it came out, but there's some damage there. Let me get a new one. Some strategy involved. Some strategy.
Yeah.
A player causing a knotting of the laces, a snag will be noted. 3 snags will lead to a disqualification. So when you swing, you can't intertwine around their string.
What if it's accidental?
That's a violation.
Oh.
That's why you got to be clear with your nut striking. You don't want to wrap around that string. Nut on nut, no dangling things.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Don't do that.
If a game lasts more than 5 minutes, then a 5-minute rule will come into effect, where each player will be allowed 9 further strikes. If neither Conker is been smashed during this time, then the player who strikes the nut the most times, so they count the number of nut hits, wins. If it's equal, then it continues until one player hits and the other misses. There are 2 positions in Conkers, the striker and the receiver. Strikers are the competitor try to bust their nut. They wrap the end of the string around their pointer finger and hold it in place with their thumb. And the string taut with the Conker between the finger, and you swing the Conker down as hard as you can. So there's a technical, you have to do it this way. And then receivers have to hold the Conker out like this.
With dangly 2
Just
fingers.
Just
Dangling
danglies. Yep.
Okay.
And the goal is to hold your Conker as still as possible. To qualify, you need to fill out a form. It's really easy. You just search the World Conker Championship website, pay a £15 fee. You could qualify to be in the World Conker Championship. The 2025 championship submission form is already live if you want to compete next year, Mark.
Well, at that disgrace tournament, no way. I'm only going to take the United Nut Service. What was our organization called? What is it called? UNS. I know it's UNS. What is it? The
United Nut Smashing.
United Nut Smashing. That's not United Nut Service.
That sounds like a completely different service, Mark.
Urethral neuropathy
syndrome. We discovered a new disease.
Okay. Look, if you want to be a part of the UNS, our registration fee is $25.
And you get a shirt by going to store.gmfst.com.
And paying money.
And picking the shirt.
But register for our competition and it'll be $25 because it's so much higher quality.
We're the United Nut Smashers.
Yes, exactly. That's why you pay for more. You pay for like a lifetime guarantee.
Guaranteed membership.
Yep, for life. And you'll have to pay your yearly dues.
Which will be determined in further episodes.
Adjusted for inflation.
The championship is knockout based, with the winner of each round advancing to the next round until it's down to the 2 finalists. Finalists then compete for the championship title in the men's and ladies events, and the winners then face each other for the overall world title. The 2024 overall championship winner received a tea towel, a coaster, a trophy, but there's no cash prize for women. But each year the event raises at least £2,500 for charity, raising over £420,000 since the first start of the games.
Well, that's nice.
So it's kind of like a charity event, but also a little fun to play with some nuts.
Cheating. And their legacy is tainted forever.
Would you cheat for charity? I would not cheat in a charity event. That seems even worse.
I don't know, man. You know what's weird? This is going way back. You know the Fortnite event.
Yeah.
That I was at. The
Yeah. The Pro-Am.
It's widely known, I think now, that Marshmallow is not one guy, right? Marshmallow is a character that multiple people play.
Uh-huh.
Who was Marshmallow that day in this charity tournament?
Well, it wasn't Ninja because Ninja was playing with him, which honestly was kind of cheatsy anyway because they had played together before.
I mean, it's totally fair, but who is that?
And you know what?
Because they're good at Fortnite.
You know what? It could have been this guy, Paul, that I know. he's friends and he used to play Fortnite with that group. I wonder. I could ask him, can interrogate him.
Because I'm like, I think what happened in that tournament is, of course, they would be like, obviously Ninja and Marshmallow, they've done stuff together before. It's a big pairing, and it's for charity, of course, right? But they could pair him up with anybody. That was the only pairing that was not this celebrity with a player.
Because it's multiple people in the hat.
Yeah, exactly. So they planted someone there.
Oh,
That was cheating for charity.
you're right. Did they win? They did win.
They did win.
They did win.
Interesting.
More ninja drama. Ah!
When we scream.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. If you want to smash some nuts, you can register for the World Conker Championship yourself and smash some nuts. Otherwise, you can go to store.gmfst.com. You can go and get yourself some sweet merch. Get it while it's still available. Who knows when that could disappear and then never be there again.
Who knows?
So if you want to contribute to stuff, I know people were posting on the Reddit for the news for this actual cheating scandal. I beat you to it, so I didn't credit you. I apologize, but I do appreciate the fact that you were on top of your game, so I do want to shout those people out.
Yeah, we could read their names for sure.
Probably like 6 Ducks was the most recent poster 7 hours ago posted about this. He even shared the TikTok that I actually used.
So we got Xylem Nova 4 days ago as woman wins Conker World title as men's champ faces Metal Nut cheating charges.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe as much as a year ago.
This was a episode suggestion list.
Conker smashing, you have to be a nut. That's very good. So that's the Caleb Dakin.
Dawkin.
I think that might be it.
That's it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you guys for contributing to that. You know, it seems that we did get a suggestion in the past, so I guess Dakin gets a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah, it was among many, but still it was there.
We appreciate it. And if you want to post anything, accuse me. gmfst. That's not
Gov.
yes. Reddit.com/r/gmfst is the subreddit. And like we said, merch earlier, episode suggestions, news, use the proper flair so we can find it. And with that, we're going to go stay up forever.
But I have 10 more nut puns.
You can save them while they help keep you awake while you are binge watching over and over and over again, The Edge of Sleep.
Or I die.
Your choice.
My life's in
His
your
nuts are in your hands.
Nope. Not true.
All right, bye.